This is video 35. It's the winter of 1706. We've blockaded the French in their port and landed some infantry so that we can pop them out next go. You'll have noticed on the turn end, when we went from summer to winter, that a galleon appeared in the Caribbean islands and blockaded my trade port, hoping to cut off my trade. We'll be doing that sea battle a little bit later in this video. Okay, just checking where I've displaced things, that's all, where all the troops are, just to remind people as well. Looking at increasing trade again in Europe. Now, Flanders has been there for, or been occupied for a decent length of time. Is it about 6 turns, or even more perhaps? There you go, it goes red, you can see. So we've managed to increase taxes in Europe a bit there. Just looking at the overall trade that we're going to be getting. Flanders should improve even more when that building is completed. Still recruiting more people in Amsterdam. Still can't recruit any decent people yet. We're waiting for that building that I've just shown you there to be completed so that we can raise some regular troops there in Flanders. Our other troops have now occupied that fort, as you'll remember from the previous video, right next to Alsace-Lorraine, which has no troops in it. I'm hoping that'll prevent him sending troops over into Paris from Alsace-Lorraine. Right, over to the American theatre. We'll be searching now for that. Those are the French at Martinique, of course. We're searching for that Spanish fleet. There it is. Well, I say fleet, it's a single galleon. Galleons are a bit like fleets. They're much better though, but they can be used as merchantmen as well. So he's raised one as a merchantman and he's blocking me in the meantime. He's not raiding a sea route, he's simply blocking me in, so he's blocking my trade. He obviously doesn't need to take money off me. What he needs to do, he doesn't need to put the money in his own coffers, he just needs to be without money, basically. Both France and Spain ganging up on me there, of course. Okay, so we're going to go for him. He can't get into the port. Do you remember I said it's important to put soldiers into ports? That prevents them actually getting into the port itself. Well, he can't get into my port, so he's blockading it. So we're going to go and pick him out. Otherwise I'd have had to have moved troops all the way across there to occupy that fort so that we could attack him with our ships. And of course it's Cuba, it's a long way across. So it would have been 2 turns before I could even get him out of there, and he'd be blockading me in the meantime. So 5 ships against 1. I'm going to include this battle. I'm not including all battles, as you've noticed. This is slightly speeded up, by the way. I've missed out all the bits where we form line and everything, which I've shown you on previous videos anyway, putting them into a group formation. There's the Admiral out there in front. I don't know if you noticed there, but we got a shot in. He was shooting at my second ship before my first ship was reloaded again. So not only is a galleon pretty powerful, it reloads quickly as well, and remember we've also got the technology of a 5% increase in our firing rate. So even with that technology, he's still managing to outshoot me. You count the shots that are coming out of there and count the number of shots that I'm putting in, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so we've all had one shot going in on one side of the galleon. We've piled in ball. The idea is that we're reducing the number of guns that he's got to fire at us. That's the sloop there that I've just picked up, and I've divided it from the rest of my group. I'm trying to get it out of the way. Last thing you want is your sloop blowing up, because that's your fast ship, that's the one that can chase down the galleon. Another feature of a galleon is, as well as being extremely powerful in terms of cannon fire and reloading skill, it's also quite quick as well. And I will need that sloop to chase him down, and of course I'm doing no damage to his sails, I'm simply going for hull damage so that I can break his morale. There you go, a shot from him. And my flagship, that's the one at the front, still hasn't fired back yet. And he can fire, he's still in range. And he still hasn't fired back. And he's on auto fire. Galleon's taking lots of hits. And there goes the galleon firing again. You see that? So he's fired twice before my flagship can fire back. Yeah. You see that he's got a lucky hit. It's probably a brig that I didn't take too much notice, but that's another reason why I've shown you this battle. They are quite powerful, these ships. You get too close to them, they can blow you completely out of the water. I have said before now, I don't like losing ships, of course. This galleon is worth a lot to me though. Okay, so I'm going to get that sloop out of the way. It's only the beginning bit of the game that was speeded up, just to get us into position, into the original position. This is all at the normal real rate. You can see what happens when you've got them in a group. You point somewhere and they'll sort of arc into that shape and all the other ships will follow on behind. I'm trying to keep him occupied with fire from those 3 ships. They're all piling fire into him. He's waving, of course, and I'm keeping that sloop out of the way up there, hoping he doesn't turn round and fire at that sloop. If he does, we're scuppered. Nope, we're okay. What's happening now is he's offering me the end battle. On previous videos I've explained, never go for an end battle. He'll get away. He'll have blown up one of your ships, he'll have damaged the others, and he'll have had some damage to himself. That's the last thing you want. You've got to capture this galleon. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself to those that have listened to all of this before. Okay, so we now have a routing galleon. We've got our sloop over at the end there. It did work out for us on this occasion. We've set the sloop to occupy his ship. You can see I've highlighted the boarding signal there. You know, the one next to the flag on the bottom right, just to the left of that was the boarding signal. Yeah. So it's looking different now because we're looking at other ships. But when we were looking at the sloop, that's my fastest and smallest and most vulnerable ship. That one was set to board the galleon. I've said before, it's only got a small number of troops. It doesn't matter how many troops you board that galleon with. I think he's probably got about 150 men still left on that galleon. Yeah? I'll show you in a moment. I'll highlight over the top. I might have what, 70 odd or something on my ship. Doesn't matter. If you board a routing ship, they will surrender. Matter of time. Set the sloop to grape shot. You want to harm his men rather than the ship itself. You could set it not to fire at all, but just in case he does regain his morale and decides not to rout, a shot across the bows with some grape shot might just change his mind, or at least it'll keep him in routing mode or frame of mind. Okay, I hope to get a bit of a close-up on here soon. Making sure my other ships, by the way, are following directly on now. They're not turning for a broadside. I don't want them firing now while my ships are here. I've actually set them to approach towards his ship. There we go. Boarding. See, he's got plenty of dead people on that ship there. And that's a close victory. So for that, the prize money is over 1,200. I will need to replace the ship that I lost. I think it was only a brig. I can replace that with a 5th or 6th rate for about 800. I can replenish my fleet for about 400. So that blowing up that one ship was a bit of a shame for me, because I break even on that battle. Obviously I clear my port. I get a better ship, so I lose a brig and gain a 5th or 6th rate. So that's fairly good news, but other than that I'm breaking even. 1,200 prize money, 400 to repair the ships, 800 to buy a new one. So it's a break-even one, that. I showed you that just to show you really how powerful the guns are of a galleon and how fast they are at getting away. The rest of my fleet would not have caught him. I hope that was interesting. And stick around for the next video.